What's going on, everybody? It's Coach Jeff here from Asiamah Academy. Today I'm going to give you guys an introduction to basketball, okay? We're going to dive deep and just talk about basketball, what it looks like, all right? There's going to be 5 components that goes into this game, okay? This beautiful game, man. It's a very nice game, all right? We got the orange ball. You could do a couple things with it. You know, it's very fun. I'm basically going to help you guys understand what basketball is, what kind of sport it is, and the different things that goes into the sport, okay? So I'm going to talk about 5 different components that goes into basketball, all right? These are important components that goes into the game, all right? If this is your first time here, welcome. Please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos that comes out. For all my new subscribers, welcome back. It's good to see you guys again. So Basketball 101, there are 5 components that goes into this game, all right? You need these 5 components in order to have the game going on, all right? If you don't have these 5 components going on, then basketball doesn't exist, pretty much, all right? So we have passing, shooting, dribbling, defense, and rebounding, okay? Those are the 5 components that goes into basketball, all right? Now, there's 2 sides to the game. You got the offensive side, and then you got the defensive side, all right? Now, you have offense versus defense, right? Keep in mind, 5 players are only allowed on the court for each team, all right? So for each team, you can only have 5 players on the court, okay? So at different points in times, you're going to be on offense for a little bit, and then there's going to be times where you're going to be on defense. All right, we're going to get into that. Okay, so let's talk about the 5 components real quick. Okay, so passing, right? Passing is when you have the ball in your hands and you push it out to pass it to somebody on your team. Okay, you pass it to the other 4 players on your team. That's a regular pass. If you pass the ball and somebody catches it and they shoot it or they score by hitting a layup, now you get 1 assist, okay? Every time you pass it and the player scores, you get 1 assist, all right? That's what they call an assist, when you pass to somebody and they score, all right? Now, if you pass the ball to somebody on the other team who was playing defense at the time, that's called a turnover, okay? You don't want to do that, all right? You don't want to do that, okay? So that's a turnover. You want to, in this game of basketball, you want to avoid turnovers at all costs, okay? Try not to get any turnovers, all right? So now I'm going to demonstrate what it looks like to pass a ball. I know I don't have a ball in my hands right now, but don't worry. We're going to get into this a little bit more deeper in other videos. For now, I just want to give you guys a quick general idea of what basketball is, all right? The kind of sport that it is, for those who don't know about basketball, okay? So you have the ball in your hands, right? When you make a pass, you want your hands to push out like that, okay? You want it to push out. That's the perfect way to make a pass, all right? And that's called a chest pass, okay? Now, we're gonna get into it a little bit more, like I said before. You know, when we get on the court, I'm gonna show you guys what passing looks like. There's different ways to pass the ball too. You know, this is the perfect way to do it. This is the most secure way to pass the ball, all right? Which is a chest pass, okay? You could also do an overhead pass. You could do a bounce pass. You could pass it with your right, pass it with your left. But for now, the best way to pass the ball, the most secure way, is a chest pass, okay? So that's passing. All right, so now we're gonna get into shooting, okay? Shooting, you know, Steph Curry with the shot. You know, you trying to shoot in the garbage can, Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Like that's shooting. Everybody wants to shoot. So shooting is when you have the ball in your hands, but you shoot it towards the net. All right, that's when you actually shoot right towards the net to try to make the shot. Okay, so that's when your hand leaves the ball and it goes towards the net. Now, essentially, when you shoot, you want to snap your wrist. You want to flick your wrist when you shoot. All right, and you want to you want the ball to flow through you like this. All right. Again, I'm gonna go through all of these in more detail, but I just want to give you guys a general idea of every component. All right. So that's what shooting looks like. You just want it to flow from your body, okay? Before you catch the ball, you want to be low, all right? Let's say your teammate, someone who's on your team, is currently dribbling the ball, or they have the ball in their hands and they're looking at you, right? They're about to pass you the ball. You want to make sure you're low, all right? You're low, you catch the ball, and then you go up. When you shoot, the best chance of making the shot is when you catch the ball and you're low, all right? And now all you have to do is just go up. Now it's just flowing right through you and you just shoot it, right? So that's what shooting looks like. Shooting is a very important component because, yeah, you know, like you need a lot of practice when you shoot the ball. You know, you always got to put up reps and, you know, to be a better shooter, you got to work on shooting. But confidence is also a very important component. And to be honest, with all these 5 components, you do have to have a strong mentality. You got to have a strong lion mentality. But this comes with practice, all right? This is not going to come overnight, okay? You got to just keep putting in the work, keep practicing, keep doing the best that you can. But confidence is also an important component that goes into the 5 factors, but especially for shooting. You got to believe that the shot is going in, and that's always going to increase your chances of hitting the shot, all right? So now let's talk about dribbling, okay? So dribbling is when you have the ball in your hands and you're consistently pounding the ball against the ground, okay? The ball is coming back up to your hands and you push it back down. Comes up, push it down. That's what dribbling is, okay? So when you're dribbling the ball, right, as long as you continue to dribble, everything is fine, right? As soon as you stop and you pick up the ball, you either have to shoot or pass, okay? Now remember, when you pass it, you got to pass it to your teammate, because if you pass it to someone on the other team, it's a turnover, okay? And when you stop dribbling and you hold it, you can't put the ball back on the floor. If you do that, that's called a double dribble, okay? The referee is going to call a double dribble, and that is considered a turnover. A turnover is when you do a violation and they give the ball back, they give the ball to the other team. That's a turnover. Now, if you don't dribble the ball, let's say you catch it, right? And you decide not to dribble, but you take steps, right? You take steps, you move around. That's called traveling, all right? The referee is gonna call it travel, and then the other team's gonna get the ball. So these are the things that you wanna avoid. But as long as you're dribbling it, you're dribbling, you got the crossovers and stuff like that, you're good. Next we have is rebounding. Okay, now there's 2 different ways that you can rebound the basketball, all right? One way that you can rebound the basketball is on offense, okay? A rebound essentially is when you grab the ball off of the rim and you secure it, right? You grab it off the rim and you secure it. You catch it, that is a rebound, okay? Now, like I said before, if somebody on your team shoots it, if you run out and catch it, that's an offensive rebound. Now all you have to do is, you know, maybe you take one bounce, you bump them, you go right back up, or you just come down and you just go right back up because your rim is right there. That's considered an offensive rebound, all right? Now, on the other side, that's a defensive rebound, okay? That's when you're closest to the basket and you're protecting your rim. So someone on the other team shoots it, or they try to go for a layup, you're the one that's going to try to go up and rebound it. Now, when you're on defense, the best thing to do is to box out, okay? Now, what is a box out? A box out is basically when you're standing in front of the person that you're guarding, you put your body in front of them and you try to push them out as far from the basket as possible. Okay, that way when the ball comes off the rim, you could immediately go and get the ball right away. All right, you created some space between your man and the basket. Now you can just go get the ball. All right, so when it comes to rebounding, you know, it's not really about talent. It's all about effort. you have to have the willingness to say, I'm going to go get this rebound. All right? You don't need skill. You don't need practice. I mean, practice definitely is very, very important. Let me not say that. You need practice. But rebounding is one of those things where if you say in your mind, with effort, I'm going to go get this rebound, that increases your chances by like 55%. Okay? So keep that in mind, all right? Rebounding is all about effort. All right, cool. So now we're on the last component. The last component is defense. Okay, these are the guys that, they want to lock up the offensive player. They want to stop the offensive player from scoring. This is defense. Basically, you're staying in front of your man who has the ball, or you're staying in front of someone who doesn't have the ball, who is on the other team. So defense is when you stay in front of the opponent. Now, when you're playing D, you want to actually come down, right, as if you're sitting. And you want your hands to be spread out, okay? And you want to stay in front of your man as much as possible because you don't want him to score. So when you're on defense, everybody tries their best to stay in front of the person that they're guarding. When you're playing defense, there's two ways that you can end up going back on offense, all right? One of them is a steal. So when you're playing defense, you can steal the ball, whether if you steal it from the man that you're right in front of, or you get into the passing lane and somebody on the other team is passing it to someone, but you jump in and steal it, right? That's a steal. Now you can go down and you can go score. The second way to go on offense is to get a block, okay? Somebody's going up for a layup, you block the shot, you can catch it right after you block it. Or if someone's shooting, you could block their shot from shooting it. Now you run after the ball, you catch it, now you're on your way to go score, right? So that's another way that you can score off of playing defense, okay? Now, the last thing that I wanted to address is when you're on the court, right? There's 10 players that are allowed on the court. 5 is on one team, 5 is on the other team, right? So we have offense and then we have defense, right? So offense is when you have the ball in your hands, okay? Now, when it comes to offense, 3 out of these 5 components is always going to be on the offensive end, okay? When you're on defense, you're going to have 2 out of the 5 components that's always going to be on the defensive end. And one of these components is always going to be on both sides, all right? We're going to get into that. So when you look at offense, right, you got passing, you have shooting, and you have dribbling. Why are these components associated with offense? Because offense is when you have the ball. You or your teammates have the ball in their hands, okay? When you're passing, you got to pass the ball, right? You got to pass the basketball to your teammates, right? You pass it around. When you're dribbling, you have the ball in your hands, you're dribbling it, right? Maybe you pass it to a teammate, now they're dribbling it. It's on your team side, right? So you guys are on offense because you have the basketball, okay? Same thing, shooting. You have the ball. You can shoot it. Maybe you pass it to your teammate. Now they dribble. Oh, they see an opening. They're going to shoot it. That's offense, all right? Offense is when you or your teammates have the basketball, all right? Now, defense is when you or your teammates do not have the basketball. Okay, so defense, you're trying to stay in front of the man who has the basketball, or you're trying to stay in front of someone who doesn't have the basketball, who is not on your team. Okay, so you choose a man, right, and you stay in front of them, right, and you stop them from scoring. Now, when it comes to defense, there's different ways on playing defense, right? You could play man-to-man, which is everybody will choose a man, right, to stay in front of, or you can play zone. There's different types of zone. You got 2-3 zone where 2 people is at the top, 3 is at the back closest to the rim, or you play 3-2 zone where 3 is at the front and then 2 is at the back, right? We're going to get into all of this, all right? We're going to get into it in detail, but again, I just wanted to give you guys a general idea of what basketball is, okay? So those are the different ways that you could play defense, all right? Now notice the last component is rebounding, right? Guess what? You could do this on both sides, right? Offensive rebounding and defensive rebounding. Remember, when your team has the ball and somebody shoots it, somebody can go and get the ball off of the rim and go right back up. That's an offensive rebound, all right? Now, on the other side, when you guys are on defense, you can box out, stay in front of your man, box out, and then you grab the ball. That's a defensive rebound. Okay, so rebounding can happen on both sides of the rim. Okay, so guys, that's it for this video. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. All right, do me a favor, let me know in the comments what your favorite component is, and you can explain why if you want. But let me know what your favorite component is, all right? And please, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any other videos in the future, all right? And that's it, guys. I appreciate you guys for watching. And always remember, the lion mentality lives here.